Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. And again, we're back to Monday, and Monday must mean it's fan comments. Yes, the first segment of the week. Bank holiday Monday. I'm going to keep this one very, very short, and there are only a few short comments that you guys have wonderfully and religiously put on Cannon Fodder TV. I've got to say a big thank you to those of you who, over the last 7 to 9 days, have tuned in to the newest segment, which is the player profile, where we talk about players who have appeared in an Arsenal shirt over the last 30 to 40 years. And it appears some of you really, really like it. So we're going to continue. We will continue with that segment. There was some unfortunate news and sad news with the passing of Peter Bonetti, who was a Chelsea a goalkeeper who played quite a few years with them. They passed away yesterday on Sunday. And the player profile that came out this morning was Jimmy Rimmer, who was a goalkeeper at Arsenal. He spent some time at Arsenal, 4 years, and then he went on to play at Aston Villa, and he won the European Cup there. But you know what? Let's get into the fan comments. I do apologize. I apologize. I'm actually using my phone this time to do the fan comments, as my wife uses the laptop at this moment in time. So I'm going to be using my phone. And as well, from the feedback I get, people are not too bothered whether they see my face or not. So, like I said, this is fan comments. And let's get through the first comment. So the first comment that comes is from the English Conversation Club, where they're talking about the player profile, which was Glenn Helder. And they say, wow, great video, Alex. Like the part where Bruce Rioch told Glenn Helder to get his hair cut. And like I said in a segment, just going by my research, that was a legend. I'm not, I can't really verify that, but you do see a change in Glenn Helder. He does get his hair cut and he does remove his earrings. The second comment comes from Stan the Man, or Stan the Geezer, like I like to call him. And he's also commenting on the player profile, Glenn Helder. And he says, here's a fun fact. After a short stint in prison, you could find Glenn Helder playing the drums for a band in and around the Amsterdam area. Must have been kind of surreal seeing, an ex-footballer, playing in a band around Amsterdam rather than, maybe managing. But that is the world of football. Players are like you and myself. No one is immune from the downfalls or upturns in one's life. Next comment comes from Benicio Solano, who's also made a comment about the Glenn Helder player segment. And he says, the Netherlands score, amazing player. Yes, he was. And like I said, in that segment, things change so very, very quickly. So very, very quickly. A player's playing career, it can be very short. Maximum, maybe 15 years if they're lucky. But can be shortened as a matter of weeks or even days when they have serious injuries. But with the case of Glenn Helder, he was put out on loan by Arsene Wenger. He came back after suffering some injuries, and he found his place had been taken by Mark Overmars. Okay, we've got 2 more comments we're going to go through, and both of them are from a contributor and 1/3 of the Cannon Fodder TV Mafia, Mube Guna, and he also comments on the player segment, Glenn Helder. He says, love these videos, bro. Younger fans should appreciate these so much to learn about our past players. Thank you very much for that, Mube Guna. Before I go into the last comment, I do actually want to say to you guys, if there are any players you want me to feature, leave the comments in the box after I've done and dusted with this fan comment segment, and I shall do my best to research, talk about the player, and do my best. Okay, that's it. I got my tongue tied there. And then the last fan comment, which also comes from Mube Gunnar, and he's commenting on the Easy Talk last week Friday, where we celebrated the 600th video on Cannon Fodder TV. He says, big up to my guys, as usual, a good watch. Ralph, good to see you, bro. So again, over the 2 and a bit years that we've been going. I want to say a big thank you again to everyone, all our contributors, those who've subscribed, followed us on Twitter, been interviewed by us, who's appeared on the panel. A big, absolute massive thank you to everyone. Right, so let me just quickly go into the chat. I can see it on my phone. Let's have a look. We've got Retro Newcastle FC who says, I can't actually see, it's so small. And he says a REIT. Okay, I'm not sure what he means by that. And then I've got Steve who says Aubameyang should stay. Yes, he should stay, but whether he stays is going to be a different story. He's going to want to have to stay at Arsenal because we can't offer him, at this moment in time, Champions League football. At this moment in time, we can't offer him European football, so Europa football. So what is there to keep him at Arsenal, apart from maybe the London lifestyle? He's going to want to have to stay. And we really don't want to get ourselves in a situation where we have an Ozil part 2. The number 10 is on a massive, huge wage. And that amount of money, if he were not there, we could have reinvested that money. So we don't want to get ourselves, in a carbon copy situation where we've got a player, we've literally gone over and above to try and keep him with a sweetener, only for his form to dip or he sulks. So personally, what my thoughts are on Aubameyang. I think if we can cash in on him, the sooner the rather. Reinvest the money and just start all over again. But like I said, Aubameyang has going to have to want to stay because we can't offer him maybe the thing that he's looking for most, which is Champions League football. Then I've got again, hello Steve. I'm not sure who's Steve. We don't have a Steve here. Okay. Right, and then got the last one again from Steve. It says hi. Okay, I'm sure you're saying hi to me. Hi to you. Anyone who's watching now, Cannon Fodder TV, this first segment of the week, make sure you subscribe on our YouTube channel as well as follow us on the Twitter handle, Cannon Fodder TV, and also hit the like button. I mean, they say it sends us up the ranks. I'm not absolutely sure that's actually true, but if it is true, it doesn't cost anything to hit the like button. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about, I'm going to call this segment to an end. Yep, I think that is it. That is it. Right. So, guys, again, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who has over the years subscribed to Cannon Fodder TV on all platforms, who's ever appeared on the panel, who's ever been interviewed by myself, and let's hope for another 600 more videos on Cannon Fodder TV. Right, just 2 more comments that's just come in. There's also a panelist, Terry Hogan, the original Godfather himself, who says, sell Aubameyang and most of our top earners, but keep Leno. That's a good shout, like we've been saying. I think Aubameyang probably needs to be sold. Arsenal cannot offer him much in regards to winning anything or participating in the Champions League or Europa League Cup football. Maybe there is a call that Arsenal could probably build a team around either Leno or Martinelli. I'm not sure what you think in the chat. Do you think which player do you think Arteta should build the club around? Steve's come back with, and I've got to say thank you for this comment. The best channel. We try. We try our best. If you've ever seen most of the segments, we have the fan comments on Mondays. On Fridays, we have the Easter talk. And we have some bits and pieces in between, i.e. the player profile. So if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do now. And then you go on to say that Mikel Arteta okay? Are you asking me a question or are you telling me? I think it's early days. It's really, really early days. I've not seen much change. I know he's made the defense a little bit more difficult to beat. But where do we lie? We still lie in mid-table. I'm not being defeatist. I'm just being just telling it like it is. We're not in the top four. We're not in the bottom. We are in the middle. And remember, these are the same players that Unai Emery has had. These are the same players that Freddie Ljungberg has had. So it takes a bold person, a bold coach, or a bold manager to really, Cole, get rid of the majority of the players like Terry Hogan or the original Godfather has said himself to make it a real starter, a fresh start. So let's just really see how really bold and brave Mikel Arteta really is. And then you go on to say, this is the Arsenal year. Do you think we will win? I think that Arsenal, if the season does continue, whether it be after coronavirus is cleared, in inverted commas, or we continue playing behind closed doors, the highest person I think Arsenal can reach is 7th. Can they win something? There is a possibility. There was always a possibility. In cup games, it's really anyone's game. Anyone's game. But I'm going to put the question to you. What do you think, Steve? Do you think Arsenal can win something if the season does continue? So there you go. There's two questions. Which player do you think Mikel Arteta should base the team around? And do you think realistically, if the season does get going again, do you think Arsenal can win some silverware? So there's questions before we wrap up this segment. Okay. There has been some news. Again, we try not to do transfer news. In the first 6 months, we did do transfer news, and what really was disappointing is that there's just so much gossip in the media, and I've always said at that time that we won't believe it until we see the player holding up the jersey or the top of Arsenal. So we won't do any transfer news. Yeah, that's something we're not going to do. Okay. And Steve says, you reckon that we're going to win the Europa League? Well, we got knocked out by Olympiacos, Steve. We're only in the FA Cup. Okay. Right. So I think we're probably gonna call it quits. I'm gonna remind you guys again, those who are watching now, make sure you subscribe to Cannon Fodder TV on all platforms. So not only on Twitter, on YouTube and Facebook. Press the like button. That can send us up to the rankings if that's really, really true. And make sure you also let me know which player over the last 30 or 40 years you'd like me to feature on the newest segment, which is the player profile. And with that, I'm going to bid you farewell. And if you've been wondering who or what you've been watching, you have been watching Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.